Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And I'm Keiji Muto's Bald Spot.
And Shane's still not here.
We feel your absence.
We do. Welcome to episode 340, Wrestling World, 1999. No tagline.
No tagline.
No.
It's January 4th. Everybody knows where we are.
Yep. This is the third Wrestling World produced by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Took place on January 4th, 1999 from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan, with an attendance of 52,500 people. So this makes the show the 8th overall annual Tokyo Dome show on January 4th. If you're wanting to watch this, you can watch 90% of it. Match number 8 is not available on New Japan World, but I'll even tell you where to go if you want to sell the high seas. It's the Internet Archive.
There's so much wrestling stuff.
It's not technically selling the high seas if it's on Internet Archive. So,
nah.
But the tape that is on Internet Archive does not show the matches in order.
I wonder if I watched it in order.
You did.
It looks like I did.
So I rearranged the matches when I gave the files to our boys here, so they could watch them in order, and we could cover the show in order because that's what we do.
Yeah, it would be great. Well, I don't know why they would put it on the tape like that.
I mean, watching because it's a 2-tape set.
Yeah.
The first tape was the minor card stuff, and then they put the belts and the big names on the second tape. So
I get it.
Like I said,
weird choice, but at least there was some rhyme to their reason.
But we're going to cover it in order.
As God intended.
Yes. But even though Shane's not here, we still took a trip around the world.
That's a real one.
And I hope I did him justice, because it was kind of on short notice. And I mean, it is just chicken fried rice. It's very good chicken fried rice, but it has carrots and broccoli in it. I've never had those. That's what kind of like found Sai Asian Bistro. It's over here on 63rd and May, and I saw the carrots and the broccoli in it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that in fried rice. So I was like,
maybe that's how they traditionally do it for Japanese fried rice, but I don't know. I've had Japanese fried rice before plenty of times, but I never really paid attention to what was in it.
I mean, I know Chinese rice is more of the jasmine rice, so most Japanese rice is the more of the...
Well, this is like sushi rice.
Long grain sushi rice.
But I think they use the same rice because sushi rice has like a little bit of sugar and rice wine vinegar in it.
Yeah.
So I think that they just use the sushi rice, because obviously if you're making sushi, you're probably going to have a lot of leftover rice.
At least you'd hope so. But... we got a good helping of this fried rice. Broccoli was cooked well. Carrots were... It might have been because they sat in the box for a little while after delivery, But like I said, I hope I do Shane proud. I'm gonna take a bite.
Oh, Matt's first bite.
I mean, you may have heard me chew on camera, on audio before, but
I'm sure plenty of people skip the bite.
You can't hear anything. It's rice.
Yeah.
But,
It's fried rice. Even bad fried rice is still fried rice. But this is a good fried rice.
But there is a cucumber.
Yeah. There you go.
There's some crunch for you guys. So I know we don't want anyone to feel left out missing Shane this weekend. But also something that happened right around the same time as Wrestling World 99. Batman Beyond would debut the next week.
How long had the animated series been off air?
I think it started in 95.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Did you watch Batman Beyond?
And I didn't watch the animated series. I didn't watch Batman Beyond. As a kid, I was essentially exclusively a Nickelodeon kid.
I was wrong. Animated series started in 92.
Yeah.
Much earlier than I thought.
I remember, I think I was talking to my aunt on the phone as a little kid once, and for some reason she was surprised that I wasn't watching the Batman cartoon, because she knew that it was that popular. But I was never really a Batman guy as a little kid. I would just basically watch the Ninja Turtles and then anything that Nickelodeon had to offer. There was plenty of other stuff that I watched, but not that I got into in any kind of obsessive way. I do remember Batman Beyond starting and it being like, oh, that's interesting. But I've read more Batman than I've watched Batman cartoons. I've seen more of the Adam West show than any of the cartoons.
I watched all of Batman 66. I'm actually right there along with you on the Batman animated series. I love Batman. And I have never watched the Batman animated series until recently.
I imagine that it's right up your alley.
It very much is. And I wish I may not have appreciated it as a kid.
But I think it holds up. People always say it holds
does.
up.
I saw it was coming out in a big box set, and I was just like, I've been told that this is a show that I'm going to love. I just got it. Was like, let's do this. Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. I'll say it.
That's what I hear all the time. I had a friend who I think got those DVDs when they came out in the early 2000s or something like that, and he would rant and rave about it. And he was not a nerdy comic book guy at all. He was just a golfer that probably liked drugs too much. But for some reason, I guess, he grew up on this Batman show and just ran and raved about how good it held up. And I still never watched it. Maybe I'll get to it one of these days. But did you do Batman Beyond?
I actually didn't do Batman Beyond either. I have started watching it recently as well, because they came out with a big box set of it as well. And once again, I was like, I'm loving Batman animated series made by the same people.
It's the same Batman, but he's old now.
Yes, he's basically Bruce Wayne. He's never Batman, really.
Yeah. He's training the new Batman essentially.
Yeah. It's a cyberpunk-ish future, so there's more of that feel to the show.
Is Kevin Conroy doing the old
Kevin
Batman?
Conroy still does Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
It's Will Friedle that plays the Terry McGinnis. Will Friedle, you might remember from Boy Meets World. He's the older brother.
Oh, okay. I do know who that is.
Yeah. That's literally if you look at his filmography, Will Friedle's, you got Boy Meets World, and then he's a voice actor.
Good for him.
He did the main character Batman Beyond. He's done Lion-O and Thundercats, the newer cartoon. He's done some Transformer stuff. Literally, he still does DC movies, the animated movies, all the time as different characters. But yeah, he's an animated stuff.
Honestly, I feel that's the best job that involves the word acting.
Along with being on a wonderful rewatch pod of Boy Meets World, Pod Meets World with Danielle Fishel, Miss Topanga, and
him,
and the best friend from Boy Meets World.
The guy with the butt cut, Sean.
Yeah, the guy who played Sean. Why am I forgetting his name?
I don't know. I wouldn't know any of their names except for
Ryder Strong.
The Savage. Yeah, Ryder Strong is a hell of a name.
But yeah.
Did Mr. Feeney ever show up?
Mr. on
the podcast. I assume he's passed away.
I do think they may have had him on there one time. I haven't listened to all the episodes.
Yeah.
But from the little bit of Batman Beyond I've watched, it's a great show. If you like Batman at all, you're going to enjoy it.
It holds up. Is it? If you have the same vibe.
It has the same vibe.
It's written by the same people, right?
Yeah, it's the same creative group that did the Batman the Animated Series. They just, WB wanted something a little bit newer to...
Something hip. It's 1999.
Exactly. So
we're going to cyberpunk. Matrix is out. Damn it. Or it's about to be.
I don't think it's released quite yet.
Yeah, no, not in January.
No. But let's get talking some Wrestling World 99. And we go to our first match. Because in Japan, all we get is basic entrances and
small interviews in a language we don't understand.
Exactly. But that first match is Kazuyuki Fujita versus Manabu Nakanishi. And the last time we saw both these men was at Final Power Hall episode 288. And the bell rings and the two men go right at each other, working arms, trading takedowns and other holds, until Manabu nails a shoulder block, stomps, and a whip to a corner, only for Fujita to fire out with a spear to take control. Kazuyuki delivers a body slam, a snapmare, and goes to a chin lock to wear down his opponent, when Nakanishi responds with a Death Valley driver to escape.
Get it done early.
And the two exchange slaps and forearms that takes Manabu down, allowing Fujita to hit several knees. But Nakanishi answers right back with more forearms, a body slam, and a leaping elbow drop for a 2 count. Manabu continues with headbutts, a vertical suplex, and a leaping leg drop, now for a near fall, before more chops, a boot to the gut, and a Northern Lights suplex.
We love to see it. Bring out the big moves.
Nakanishi attempts his finisher, only for Fujita to counter with several knees to escape momentarily. But Manabu's right back on the offensive with a running forearm for a 2 count. Now Nakanishi tries his finisher again, with Kazuyuki countering this time into a side Russian leg sweep. But they get back to their feet, and they trade strikes once more, with Fujita kicking Manabu out to the floor, following out to run him into a guardrail, only for them to return inside to exchange more strikes, until Nakanishi delivers a lariat. But Kazuyuki fires back with a hurricanrana for a near fall. Fujita is up with shoulder blocks. He whips his opponent to a corner and charges in, only for Manabu to catch him with knees, forearms, body slams, and a jumping knee, before a lariat and the Mana Bauer, which is a torture rack, for the submission and the win.
It's a good way to start a show. I assume that they are lions or were recently lions?
Manabu's been... I know the last time we saw Fujita, he was a young lion, because it was in the Riki Choshu retirement match in 98. Manabu, he's been out of the lion system, but he's still definitly lower on the card at this point.
Still. Yeah, but they were both in the dojo together. There's overlap.
At one point, yeah. Manabu was a little bit
older, further along.
Yeah. We go to our second match. Heisei Ishingun of Michiyoshu Ohara, Tatsuhito Goto, and Kengo Kimura versus Tadao Yasuda, Osamu Kido, and Tatsumi Fujinami. Little 6-man action here.
Yep, with Fujinami and 2 younger guys.
Last time we saw Ohara, Goto, and Yasuda was at G1 Climax 98, episode 314. Fujinami at Final Power Hall, episode 288, which was last year's January 4th show. And Kimura and Kido at Wrestling World 97, which was 2 years ago's January 4th show, episode 235.
Yep, I guess they didn't really make it into a junior or a G1. Not quite there yet.
At least not one of the matches that we got saw.
We
don't always watch every match of those things.
Not all available sometimes.
And Kido and Kimura start us off with mat wrestling until Kido misses a drop kick, but he catches a big boot to counter into a dragon screw leg whip, leading to both men making tags. Yasuda and Goto are now in, where Yasuda chokelifts and slams his opponent down, only to miss an elbow drop, allowing Goto to nail a snap suplex.
And Yasuda weighs he's got like 60 pounds on him. It's
Yasuda's the guy who was a former sumo wrestler.
Yeah. It's just the size difference is wild for a New Japan because weight classes are a little more strict. But we're in a 6-man, so it is what it is.
Ohara tags in, but Yoshida powers his way to the corner to bring in Fujinami, who takes down Ohara into an arm hold, bringing Yoshida back to hammer away, only for Kimura to return to work the big man's legs. And Goto looks to help, but Yoshida chops him back to his corner to bring Kendo back in, where he tosses Ohara out of the ring and looks to fly through the ropes, only for Ohara to back away and climb to the rampway until tagging out to Kimura.
No funny business.
And Fujinami returns as well to take down his opponent with a drop toe hold and a snapmare, followed by a boot rake to the eyes, sending Kimura to tag out to Goto, who gets taken down as well for an STF. And Yoshida takes over, but Goto escapes his grasp with a mule kick low blow before running down the ramp as his partners toss Yoshida outside, leading to a running lariat.
I mean, you gotta have the running lariat spot in a dome show because you got about a quarter mile of entrance leeway.
Back in the ring, Ohara whips Yoshida into a Kimura leaping knee, followed by Goto and Ohara hitting a double team hotshot across the ropes for a 2 count. Goto keeps up the attack with strikes when Yoshida answers back with sumo chops, corner splash, and a double underhook suplex for a near fall.
Pretty sick. I love the sumo palms. So, might be a little bit silly, but bigger than him. And he followed up with a really cool double underhook suplex.
And Yoshida continues with a drop kick, sets up for another suplex when Ohara rushes in to take down the big man with a bulldog
For the save.
leading to a Pier 6 brawl.
I had to do it to him.
Which leaves Goto to deliver a high-angle back suplex for a 2 count. Goto then charges into a big fist, followed by a double underhook powerbomb from Yoshida for a near fall, before Kendo slams Goto down, while Yoshida heads up top to nail a flying splash for the pin and the win.
It accomplished its goal. Loved the release suplex, and got a little bit of high drama in that stretch, which is all we're really building towards.
I mean, this match was designed to show off Yoshida because there are bigger things in Yoshida's future. I'll just leave it at that.
Tease it, yeah.
Big
boys do big things.
Exactly.
Or at least they get the chance to.
We then get a video recap of the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship belt.
Being brought out by some ring girls, I guess you'd call
them.
Well,
we get to see highlights from the tournament that was had that ran on August 8th that would name the first champions, followed by the challengers running through other competitors. So we go to our third match, Dr. Wagner Jr.
Hey, happy to see you.
Kendo Kashin versus Shinjiro Otani and Tatsuhito Takaiwa for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships.
I love Dr. Wag's Aztec gear.
Yeah.
It looks cool as hell.
Last time we saw all 4 men was at Best of Super Juniors 5, episode 307. So when, Wagner was going to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And the other
he did so damn well that they gave him the tag team belt because...
well, he's the challenger in this match.
Well, okay, sorry. Well, they gave him... They put him in a prominent tag team.
New Japan went, oh, we like you.
Yeah.
Let's keep bringing you back.
They put him in the final and he delivered.
Yep.
So he's earned his spot.
So Kashin grabs a guardrail from the floor on his way to the ring, leaving it on the ramp, while the champs come out with some lovely ladies carrying the belts for them.
What a nice life. I will say that Otani, of course, our hometown boys, our Japanese team, is going to get bigger pop. People are pumped for Wagner and Kashin as well. They're not getting booed. People have seen these guys work over the last year and appreciate it.
Absolutely. So Wagner and Tatsuhito start with back and forth action, trading arm work and chops when Takaiwa clotheslines and slams Doc down, followed by Shinjiro leaping in with a knee drop and chokes on the ropes. But Wagner shoves Otani away, bringing Kashin for some choking of his own.
I love there's big dickhead energy in this match where like it feels like none of these four guys like each other, and they're showing it. So you immediately are more engaged because
Absolutely.
they're hitting a little harder and just they're not being good sportsmen necessarily, but they're also not being full like cheating slippery heels. It's like, I don't like you, so I'm gonna hit you.
Shinjiro runs Kendo into a corner, delivers several boot rakes before Tatsuhito returns, only to be taken down by strikes and rolled over into a camel clutch, with Doc coming in to run the ropes, leading to a basement dropkick.
Love to see it.
Now Kashin drags his opponent to the corner, which brings Wagner in for a body slam and a slingshot senton, followed by going for a suplex, which Takaiwa blocks and reverses into one of his own, before a knee drop and a camel clutch, with Otani coming in to do the exact same running of the ropes that Doc had done, complete with rolling action into a basement dropkick.
Yep, that's the story here.
Oh, that's the move you can do? I'll show you mine.
Just being a dickhead.
Shinjiro then takes over the attack with a headlock, with Wagner powering his way to the corner and tying Otani up in the ropes for a dropkick, followed by Kendo shattering some dreams. Kashin continues with a snap suplex into an arm breaker, forcing Shinjiro to make the ropes, when Wagner would return for another dropkick and a surfboard, until he loses grip, allowing Otani to tag out. And Takaiwa has his whip reversed, but he bounces out of the corner with a clothesline, goes for a powerbomb, only for Doc to reverse it into a back body drop, with Tatsuhito keeping his grip together on the waistlock, leading to attempting the powerbomb again, when Wagner would drive him into a corner. Doc sets Takaiwa on the top to nail a superplex, but Tatsuhito no-sells and is back on his feet to trade lariats with Wagner, until Takaiwa delivers one that sends Doc out of the ring. Tatsuhito then sends Wagner into the guardrail and drags him down the rampway to get Doc on his shoulders, only for him to slip free and clothesline Takaiwa down. And Doc hits a Wagner driver on the ramp, followed by Kendo coming out to toss Tatsuhito back in, taking over the attack with strikes, a hangman's neck breaker, and a stalling brain buster for a 2 count. Kashin charges into a power slam before Takaiwa goes for a slam, but Kendo looks to counter into a victory roll, only for Kashin to then counter that into a hot shot across the ropes, allowing Tatsuhito to make the tag.
Yeah, neck first. None of that waist bullshit.
And Otani springboards in with a dropkick, hits a spinning heel kick and a release German, but then telegraphs his move. So Kendo goes for a sunset flip, only for Shinjiro to stay up and get punched in the nuts.
You can't always stay up and punch down. Sometimes you stay up and get punched in the nuts.
Wagner flies in from the top with a missile dropkick and a flying splash for a near fall. And he goes up top again, but Shinjiro avoids the somersault senton, bringing Takaiwa in for a lariat and power slams to both of his opponents, before a Death Valley driver to Doc for a 2 count. Tatsuhito then takes Wagner to the top, only to be shoved off, allowing Doc to deliver the somersault senton for a near fall, followed by a seated hammerlock ab stretch, with Takaiwa making the ropes. Wagner hits a crucifix powerbomb, which is the outsider's edge, for a 2 count. He goes for another, only for Tatsuhito to roll it into a victory roll for a near fall, allowing him to bring Otani back in to trade missed kicks with Kashin. But he's then taken down into an arm breaker, which Shinjiro escapes by reaching the ropes. Kendo then takes Otani right back down into another arm breaker, with Takaiwa breaking it up this time. So Kashin hits a shoulder block in a corner, setting Shinjiro on the top and leaping up for something, only to be interrupted by Tatsuhito rushing in to hold his opponent high in the air, waiting on Otani to fly in with a missile dropkick into a powerbomb. That was a fun little combo.
Absolutely. I mean, love the just big move for big move, and people see they're getting desperate, which is what you want in especially I guess any top tier Japanese wrestling match. I want him to keep going to the well and him having to like rush to the ropes.
Yep.
We're making music here. We got to hit a crescendo.
Takaiwa nails multiple more power bombs, then attacks Wagner, taking him to the ramp to brawl, allowing Shinjiro to deliver a bridging dragon suplex for the pin. And no, Kashin kicks out. And Otani goes to the apron to springboard back in with a missile drop kick to the back of the head of Kendo, before nailing a spinning sit-out powerbomb for the pin. And no, Wagner makes the save. Doc hits a lariat to Shinjiro, taking him to the top. Tatsuhito's back in to attack from behind. So Kendo rushes in, leaping to the top to take Otani down with a cross arm breaker.
Oof.
For the submission and the win. And new.
Good on you. Run the top rope arm.
Like leaping off with the guy
it looks so nasty.
Cross arm breaker.
Yeah, I mean, we set it up. We knocked it down. The underdogs won in spite of being mocked by the hometown stars. This is wonderful. This is exactly what a tag match can be, but never seem to be these days. And fans clap with respect for Wagner and Kashin because of the performance they put on, even though they were not the favorites. Loved it.
I mean...
Loved it.
I feel like this might be 99's first entry to the short list.
I don't want to show my hand, but this is far from the worst match on the show.
Yeah.
to be generous. Yeah, I love this. This is the kind of tag match that makes me excited about tag wrestling, which is a thing that unfortunately I don't get to be very often these days.
Excited by tag matches.
Yeah, like I think the last one that I really liked was like FTR and like Jay
Briscoes.
White and FTR Briscoes and then FTR Jay White and Juice Robinson.
I mean, 2025, obviously. The Swerve Ospreay versus the Young Bucks match.
I didn't see that one.
Was pretty great.
But the thing that I like about those FTR matches was they felt more like the kind of wrestling that I prefer to see. So that doesn't look exactly like a Japanese wrestling match, but it's the psychology of it all that really needs to be like on point for a tag match to drag me in, and it's all here in this match we just watched, at least to my taste. I do love a spot fest. There's spots all over this thing. But sometimes it can be too much.
Post-match, the new champions are presented a declaration, some trophies, and the belts. Kashin jets out of the ring, leaving all of his stuff behind, followed by getting an interview with him as he walks to the locker room, which obviously is in Japanese, so we can't understand a word they're saying.
Maybe you had to pee really bad.
Maybe. But he's just all like, young lions can get that stuff.
Yeah. He's like, I've got there's an MGD in the back for me to drink. Or what's the old, like, what we would call a lady beer? Not Smirnoff. Zima. I know sometimes they're always, New Japan always seems to be sponsored by a beverage at some point. But I remember Zima a few years ago. I was like, I didn't know they still made that. But maybe they do in Japan.
We then get a video recap over the rivalry between Liger and Kanemoto, where we get highlights from their matches from the past year, followed by backstage promos from both men. So we go to our fourth match, Koji Kanemoto versus Jushin Thunder Liger for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship.
I know what you're all thinking. This is probably going to be great too. It's all here on paper, and these boys get big entrances, especially Liger. When does Liger not get a huge entrance in the Tokyo Dome?
So last time we saw both these men was at Best of Super Juniors 5, episode 307. And we get exchange strikes to start, when Kanemoto takes Jushin down to the mat for a leg lock, leading to Koji working the extremity with kicks and other holds, followed by a turnbuckle smash and a roundhouse kick. Kanemoto goes for another, only for Liger to catch and counter into a dragon screw leg whip. But Koji's right back up to work the leg some more, until Jushin reverses to be on top to slap Kanemoto and into a cross arm breaker. Now Koji escapes to kick away on the back of Liger, knocking him out to the floor, where Jushin regroups momentarily before re-entering the ring, only for Kanemoto to continue with the kicks and leg work.
Yeah, when Liger slaps him, it feels like domestic abuse. Like, these guys have had a year-long rivalry, and this is the payoff. So it's a nastier Liger.
Liger makes it to his feet to fight back with palm strikes. He goes for a tilt-a-whirl, but Koji blocks and hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker of his own, followed by going to a triangle hold, which Jushin counters into an arm lock, forcing Kanemoto to make the ropes. Liger with the head scissors on the mat, adding in a hammer lock and other arm holds to continue the punishment, before setting up for a Liger bomb, only for Koji to flip out and hit a knee strike, slamming his opponent down and springboarding off the second rope with a twisting senton, which Jushin avoids and follows up with a kapoo kick, sending Kanemoto into a corner.
It's not the kind of move you want to miss.
No. Liger then charges in, but a back kick and chops puts Koji back in control to nail the springboard twisting senton this time, followed by a whip attempt that's reversed, leading to a show tie and a release German from Jushin. Kanemoto set up on the turnbuckles for a super Rana, with him rolling to the apron, only for Liger to keep on the attack with another kapoo kick that sends Koji crashing down to the floor. Jushin then climbs to the top to fly off with a plancha, before a brainbuster on the outside as well. And as Kanemoto makes his way to the apron, Liger goes to run the ropes, but Koji meets him with a roundhouse kick, only for him to fall down due to the punishment as well.
I mean, you just went on a diatribe of punishment. But that's what I'm really loving, this heel energy we've gotten, or just the prickishness of these junior matches, where it just really adds a whole lot of energy. You don't need to know anything about the story between the guys. You can just tell the animosity and and of course the fighting spirit. He's like, oh, I just got my ass kicked, but it takes a minute for me to register it because of rage. So he gets in there, gets the shot off, but still can't stand quite yet.
Jushin is up first to attempt another German suplex, but Kanemoto flips out and catches a charging Liger with a belly-to-belly suplex, followed by applying an ankle lock, which continuously pulling his opponent back to the middle of the ring.
Love to see it.
Until Jushin finally makes the ropes. Koji then takes Liger to the turnbuckles, trying for a super poison Rana.
Yeesh.
Only for Jushin to hold onto the ropes to block, causing Kanemoto to crash down to the mat.
Eat the mat.
Before Liger leaps off with a flying fist. Now Koji flips through another Liger bomb attempt into a sunset flip powerbomb, sending Jushin into the turnbuckle, setting him on the top again to deliver a super power slam for a 2 count. Kanemoto also hits a moonsault for a near fall, a tiger suplex, which only gets a 1 count.
As the fans go, Liger!
With Liger firing up with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker and a show tie in a corner.
But not before yelling to the heavens for a crowd reaction.
Followed by a Liger bomb for the pin. And no! Koji kicks out.
I will say that the Liger bomb was a little half-assed, and he didn't get the deep cover because obviously they're pretty worn out, but still kicked out of a Liger bomb this far in.
Jushin sets his opponent on the top for a super fisherman's buster, followed by a show tie to the back of the head for the pin. And no, Kanemoto kicks out again.
I mean, a big-ass pop. We get the arena shot as everyone goes wild and chants for Liger. This is high-energy stuff. 52,000 people screaming in the middle of Tokyo.
Liger lines up Koji for another show tie, but Kanemoto blocks and hits a running strike of his own, only to again be too tired to capitalize right away.
Dead weight.
Koji then slams Jushin down, flies off the top with another twisting senton, and goes for the cover. But he stands up before the count begins, deciding to place Liger on the turnbuckles, only to get slapped down to the mat.
Cocky bastard.
Jushin then takes Kanemoto up the ropes to nail a super brainbuster for the pin and the win.
The story of your hubris getting the best of you.
Post-match, our champion is again presented a declaration, some trophies, and the belt before being interviewed in the back.
I don't know about you, but I think it's the perfect match, or a perfect type of match to just show somebody what like the high end of New Japan wrestling can be. I feel like you can be like, oh, you're curious about this? Like, no one that like already likes wrestling is gonna watch that, and not for me. It's just high energy, and you don't have to explain any of the story. You don't even have to tell them that they've been fighting all year. You can just put that on, and all the energy is still in the video that felt like it was in the probably arena that day. That one was potential shortlister for me, maybe even, but I know it's early. But curious what Shane had to think about these junior matches. I'm sure he liked them. It'd be crazy if he didn't.
Exactly. We then see Atsushi Onita giving an interview while smoking a cigarette, before seeing him arrive at a building and rushing the ring back in November, which brings out authority figure Riki Choshu to brawl until they can be broken apart. And the next month, Choshu would be giving an interview with Kensuke Sasaki backing him, challenging Onita to a fight.
Where's Onita coming from?
He has been...
We all know who he is, but I'm guessing...
Not in New Japan.
Yeah, I know that.
Is it all Japan? I think that's the only other one at this point.
I mean, but for some context, he is the...
King of the Deathmatch.
Yeah. He's a man riddled with scar tissue. And I believe probably still doing it today. But he's the... what's a good parallel, I guess? Because, he's crazier than Mick Foley.
That might be his biggest...
I guess he doesn't care about his body Sabu. In a similar way that Mick Foley does, but he's got more of a dickhead, I smoke cigarettes energy of a Sandman.
Okay, he was actually in FMW.
Okay,
Frontier Martial Arts
I should
Wrestling.
have known that, yeah.
That's where he's been. And he'd actually retired, but had come back because
because he's a wrestler.
Because he's a wrestler, exactly. They don't actually ever retire. But yeah, you know who Onita is. Just
but for him to be calling out Sasaki, it's like, oh well, that's not a deathmatch guy. So you immediately the crowd's just like, oh shit.
He's actually calling out Choshu.
Yes.
But obviously we know Choshu retired.
And he's an older guy.
At the beginning of 98.
So Sasaki's like, hold on, brother. You're not beating up an old man.
Spoiler, because I don't think we actually get to see the match, but Choshu actually returns, and that's the match that he gets.
Yeah.
But this does lead us to our fifth match. Kensuke Sasaki versus Atsushi Onita with special referee Kotetsu Yamamoto. The last time we saw Sasaki was at G1 Climax 98, episode 314. Kotetsu at Final Power Hall, episode 288. I believe he was the special guest referee for Choshu's those Choshu final matches.
Yeah.
He was that guy. And, of course, as we mentioned, Atsushi Onita is a legend. And he's also a Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Famer.
And it's the first time we saw him
It's the
because
first time, yeah.
we don't watch a whole lot of thumbtack and baseball bat.
Not at this point, we do.
I mean, we don't. At least when the Japanese, we keep it to one company.
Yeah.
We can't do it all.
And Onita comes out smoking a cigarette with chair in hand, with the ref stopping him from entering with the weapon. But Kensuke shoves Yamamoto out of the way to attack, only to be whacked with the chair.
Don't let your emotions get a hold of you.
Atsushi delivers another shot, wrapping the weapon around the head of Sasaki, but he no-sells and clotheslines Onita down for a 2 count. Kensuke then rips the jacket off his opponent, with them stumbling out to the ramp, followed by slaps and a whip back into the ring, where Sasaki kicks Atsushi out to the floor, where he regroups. Now back inside, the attack continues with hammering blows and throwing Onita onto the ramp, where Sasaki asks to be hit, only for nothing to phase him. Atsushi's thrown back into the ring for a big chop to send Onita back outside, with Kensuke giving chase, but Atsushi ducks a clothesline that sends Sasaki over the railing. Onita hits a chair shot and a pile driver through a table.
Nasty stuff. And it was a seat destroyer of a chair shot. You know, where the seat flies out. You got him right over the head.
Before Kensuke responds with chair shots of his own and returning to the ring to nail multiple lariats. Atsushi's tossed into a corner with Sasaki keeping the attack with strikes, when Onita would throw a fireball into the face of Kensuke,
Crowd goes wild.
leading to the ref calling for the disqualification. I mean, at least the fireball worked, unlike we've seen in multiple other matches in our...
Yeah, and it's not the kind of thing that you see in the New Japan show, so like this nasty guy coming here and doing nasty things is received intensely from the fan base.
Post-match, Atsushi grabs his jacket and the mic to ridicule New Japan and its fans for their adherence to the rules, causing Sasaki to run out and attack again on the ramp, forcing officials and the Young Lions to pull them apart. Kensuke would then take the mic to yell that Onita wouldn't be forgiven as Atsushi continues to walk to the back. When we get interviews with Sasaki and Onita in the back before seeing Atsushi assault a reporter.
He's a nasty ass.
I mean, like I said before the match began, this is all a big lead up to Choshu coming back and having a big return match at some point in a death match with Onita. Like, literally, Onita has, 4 matches in New Japan, and all 4 of them, this is the tamest one.
Yeah, this is the story. This is the teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to start. This is where we're starting the thing, and it's like, well, we're going to start it on the biggest show, and have, Kensuke.
Like, Choshu's Sasaki's mentor.
Yeah, so,
fighting for his guys.
Yeah, it all makes sense, and it's a fun angle.
I don't know how much more of the angle we get to see, because... obviously, Japanese wrestling is sometimes hard to find certain things, but we're getting into the era where more is hopefully available, and as more becomes available, we'll try and watch more.
Yeah. Is he kind of Onita Mankind, and then with a little bit of Pillman and Sandman? Because he's got the crazy energy of...
I mean, Pillman. I can see the Pillman with...
Yeah.
I mean... I said Sabu a while ago, and I feel like he doesn't have the wrestling skills of some. I mean, as you see in this match, literally they just kept going.
He's a brawler.
From inside the ring to outside the ring. No wrestling moves were actually being done.
Yeah, he's more convincing than a Sandman, but he's no Mick Foley or Pillman in the ring between the ropes.
We then get a video recap over the Universal Fighting Arts Organization and New Japan Pro Wrestling feud, where we get highlights of the different style fights through the years before seeing Nagata and Beneteau highlights. This Universal Fighting Arts Organization, or UFO, isn't actually a separate organization. It is basically a organization that Inoki started within New Japan just to have these MMA-style Inokiism fights on the cards.
He wanted to blur the lines, and we'll all talk about how it works out, but MMA started in Japan.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things you kind of have to put up with with the rise of MMA in Japan.
Yeah.
But it doesn't last forever.
So we go to our sixth match. Dave Beneteau with Brad Rheingans versus Yuji Nagata. And the last time we saw Yuji was at Final Power Hall episode 288. Last year's January 4th show. While Rheingans was a member of the Olympic Greco-Roman wrestling teams in 1976 and 1980. He would then become a professional wrestler, working New Japan during the late 80s, early 90s. But at this point in 99, he's the American booker, bringing in wrestlers for tours, basically what Tiger Hattori and used to do, and now what Rocky Romero basically kind of is for New Japan. He's the
liaison.
The liaison.
Yeah.
They call it the American booker, but we consider it the liaison. So the match gets going, and both are trying for strikes, with nothing landing, until Beneteau shoots in to grab hold, delivering shots to the midsection on the ropes, forcing the ref to break it up. Yuji fights back to hit a belly-to-belly suplex and locks in a cross armbreaker. But Dave uses his power to lift and drop Nagata to break the hold. They roll around on the mat, only to be in the ropes again, causing the ref to break it up once more, but Beneteau won't let go at first. Once back to their feet, Yuji counters Dave shooting in with a front face lock, only for them to be in the ropes once more.
And this looks very different than a typical pro wrestling match, just so you know.
Yeah. It's more MMA than what your traditional wrestling is. I mean,
none of this stuff is clean. When he says punch or, takedown, it is not a typical double leg takedown. There's no flat back bumps taken.
When he shoots in, that's what he's going for, is a double leg takedown.
But the other guy's not just letting it happen.
Yeah. Nagata then takes Beneteau to the middle with a hip toss and applies a leg lock. But Dave makes the ropes to break it up. Beneteau shoots in to pick up Yuji for a slam. Takes the back for strikes and a chokehold. Only for Nagata to make the ropes, with the ref trying to separate them. Only for Dave to again be slow to break. Yuji then catches Beneteau with a knee to the face, followed by a roundhouse kick that stammers his opponent. Delivers a few more kicks, which Dave tries to counter with a takedown, but he gets trapped in a triangle choke for the submission and the win.
I'm anti-Inokiism.
But
this is...
you watch these matches, I think everybody probably would be.
Yeah, but this was far from the worst that we've even seen in the past.
Correct.
And there's at least a couple more on this show. And we'll get to them, but just based on the ones that we've talked about in the past, I was like, well, this isn't the worst one. But it doesn't mean that I'm putting it on any kind of list. Far from it.
I'd rather just forget that it happened. We get another video recap of more of that UFO New Japan feud, including our next competitors, which is our seventh match. Don Frye with Brad Rheingans and Dave Beneteau versus Brian Johnson
of the rock band AC/DC. Just kidding. He would be...
It's not that guy.
Don Frye would stomp him into dust.
We'll see if Don Frye does it to this Brian Johnson.
Yeah. No, Brian Johnson is safe.
Last time we saw Frye was at Final Power Hall, episode 288. And Don comes out with a pair of belts. I can only assume that they're UFC related because he did compete in the UFC.
Yep, and lots of booze.
While Brian runs down the long ramp and leaps into the ring to attack his opponent straight away. The two both throw strikes until Johnson hip tosses Frye down to the mat. But Don counters into a cross armbreaker, only for them to be in the ropes. Johnson with knees and tosses Don to the outside, where Frye regroups momentarily, before returning to the ring to exchange more strikes, when Don catches a kick to take down his opponent, mounting him, but Bryan is able to roll on top, sending them into the ropes.
Into the ropes, into the ropes, into the ropes. That's what happens when you have these kinds of matches in a wrestling ring.
There's too many breaks and not enough actual moves.
And also, it's like a soft fight.
But if you think about it, logically, if a wrestling match, the people were actually like
in a ring,
not allowing, it wasn't a choreographed fight.
Yeah.
This is what those would look like. Because if someone were to come at me with a chokehold, and I knew I could get out of that chokehold by grabbing those ropes there, I'm going to fight and claw to get to those ropes.
And if somebody was silly enough to come at you with a lariat, you would sidestep it and break their fucking arm.
Yeah,
because it's a different thing.
So I get what they're going for.
We just don't like
Doesn't mean that I have to like it. Frye chokes Johnson with his boot until the ref separates them, leading to the two throwing haymakers at each other. When Don power slams Bryan down, only for Johnson to fight back with headbutts to break them apart. Several jabs by Frye knock Bryan down, but Don's overzealous with the attack and falls out of the ring, so he regroups on the outside.
Headbutts, pretty wild.
Back inside, Frye nails a knee and applies a cross armbreaker, only for Johnson to grab the ropes, forcing a break. And a sweep kick takes Don down, but Bryan doesn't capitalize, letting Frye up to smack him across the head with fists, grab a chicken wing, only for Johnson to fireman carry his opponent down to the mat and grabbing the arm. But Don gets a boot on the ropes. Now back to the feet, Bryan shoots in for a body slam, transitioning it into an STF, only for Frye to again make the ropes. Exchange strikes back on their feet until Don hits a clothesline that sends them both over the ropes to the floor, where Rheingans and Beneteau grab hold of Johnson, allowing Don to hammer away until the Young Lions can break it apart. And as Bryan attempts to get back in the ring, Dave grabs his leg, leading to Frye hip-tossing Johnson back in, mounting him and hammering away. With Bryan not able to defend himself, the ref calls for the stoppage and the win. Post-match, Bryan chases his opponent down the walkway, attacking him, causing officials and the Young Lions to again separate them.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but Don Frye is pretty over. He may be getting boos, but the boos are tenfold the cheers for Bryan Johnson. Yeah. So the heel is healing.
One more video recap of the UFO New Japan feud, along with footage of our competitor's previous matchup from back in 1997. And that leads us into our 8th match, which, if you remember, this is the match that's not on New Japan World, if you're watching on there.
I guess we'll talk about it.
And that match is Naoya Ogawa with Dave Beneteau, Brad Rheingans, and Tiger Mask.
What's he doing over there?
He's in the UFO group. Versus Shinya Hashimoto. And we last saw Ogawa at Final Power Hall, episode 288. Shinya at the G1 Climax Final 98, episode 314. And Tiger Mask since the J Crown tournament.
Oh, damn.
Episode 213. Naoya takes the mic to yell something as Hashimoto makes his way to the ring.
On a mission.
Before they feel each other out once the bell rings, exchanging blows that don't quite land, and Shinya constantly locking up with Ogawa into the ropes, forcing the ref to break them apart. After one instant, Naoya ends up mounted atop of Hashimoto to deliver stiff shots, transitioning into a cross armbreaker just as Shinya makes the ropes. And Ogawa continues to hit strikes, taunting Hashimoto to come after him, but all Shinya does is shoot in to tie his opponent up, bringing the ref in to separate them, with Tiger Hattori getting kneed below the belt.
Ref bump.
Ogawa takes Hashimoto to the mat and hammers away on the back of the head, kicking Shinya out of the ring and bringing other wrestlers out to check on Hashimoto.
He's got a bloody nose.
Ogawa and his crew step onto the ramp as well, with everybody shoving each other when the bell rings for the no contest.
Yeah, it's nasty. You can see Shinya look up with like a what the fuck on his face because he's not there.
Post-match officials continue to check on Shinya as Ogawa takes the mic to yell something again, which causes the UFO and New Japan guys to stare each other down inside the ring. All of a sudden, Riki Choshu makes his way out to get at Ogawa, forcing officials to get in between them to prevent chaos.
Crowd going crazy.
The scene then cuts forward to Ogawa back in the ring celebrating, when Choshu would again get in his face, this time with Hashimoto holding back the legend, until he nails a cheap shot to Ogawa, taking his jacket off because he's ready for a fight. But Ogawa leaves down the entranceway, leading to an interview in the back with Ogawa, followed by an interview with Shinya. So, as I mentioned before, UFO is kind of this like, Inoki's kind of booking that part. Choshu's booking the actual wrestling part of the show. And
this is where it converges. Inoki told him to hurt him.
Some background on Riki Choshu. He's not much of a fan of the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, because they're probably all dickheads.
So we will see from this point forward, as Choshu's the booker, Shinya, Muto, Chono will kind of be pushed to the back burner a little bit.
We got to make new stars. Plus, Keiji Muto's a pain in the ass to work with. I assume as much for Chono. I don't know enough about Shinya Hashimoto as a human. Yeah. But we all know Keiji Muto's a fucking pain in the ass.
But basically, Shinya and Ogawa have kind of had this like rivalry a little bit.
Yeah. That
ends up spilling out over the course of the next year or so. But Ogawa, like, everyone feels this match like Ogawa shot on Shinya.
He knocked him out. He knocked him silly.
That's the reason this match isn't on.
Yeah.
Because it makes Shinya just look bad.
Yeah, it makes him look terrible. Because the guy punched him in the nose for real.
Shinya never
kicked him in the head for real.
Shinya never makes it back to the level that he was at the last time we saw him.
He ruined his career with one. That's why these things aren't supposed to mix.
Yeah.
It's like, you just took money out of that guy's pocket because you shot on him. And no matter, like, you all understand.
Yeah.
It's just, apples and oranges.
We then get a video recap of Tenzan and Kojima's battles. But now, Satoshi has joined the NWO and is rival to chase after the tag titles. And our competitors have words with reporters as they enter the building for our 9th match, NWO Japan of Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima versus Genichiro Tenryu and Shiro Koshinika for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And the last time we saw all 4 men was at the G1 Climax Final, episode 314. But this is the first time Tengoji is teaming together.
I mean, he's fresh in the NWO, and being in a tag championship match, pretty enticing. Might make me want to join the NWO if I get to play the big room for a belt.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This quickly. So, yeah.
So the champs attack before the bell, tossing Tenzan to the floor, but Kojima fights back with hip attacks to Shiro until Genichiro saves his partner with hip attacks, which is kind of just funny because the hip attacks is Koshinika's thing.
Yeah.
Now Koshinika and Satoshi trade headbutts, but that sends Kojima to his corner to bring in Hiroyoshi, who wants Tenryu. So he powers his opponent to the corner and brings Genichiro into the fray. Exchange shoulder blocks and chops, followed by a drop kick and a body slam that puts Tenzan in control, hitting Mongolian chops and raking the eyes before bringing Kojima back in for a double team clothesline. Now Satoshi delivers a senton splash and an elbow drop for a 2 count, followed by wearing down his opponent with a chinlock, with Tenryu making it to his feet to take several chops and a clothesline for Kojima, but he pops right back up with a chop to knock Satoshi down, before whipping him into a hip attack from Koshinika that sends Kojima to his corner to tag out. Hiroyoshi is then taken down by a Genichiro clothesline, followed by a snap suplex from Shiro for a near fall, only for Tenzan to fire back with Mongolian chops to take his opponent down, before headbutting the gut.
Nah, not the gut headbutt.
2 trade more headbutts, which Hiroyoshi wins, taking Koshinika to his corner for double team stomps with his partner.
Which, of course, Hiroyoshi Tenzan wins the headbutt. His head is like a block of ice. Yeah. It's like a giant block, like the block of ice that they used to carry around with hooks in the 30s.
But Shiro responds with slaps to the face, sending Kojima towards Tenryu for a chop from the apron. Koshinika then whips Satoshi to a corner, before whipping Genichiro in for a running clothesline and an enziguri, followed by a hip attack from Shiro. Tenryu continues with a back suplex for a 2 count, and Shiro returns for rakes to the eyes, side Russian leg sweep for a near fall, before Genichiro tags in for a double enziguri to Kojima. Tenryu continues with a turnbuckle smash, dragging Satoshi to the ramp for a running clothesline.
Gotta do it.
Followed by tossing him back into the ring, only for Kojima to fire up with a Saito suplex to Koshinika. Tenzan tags in to beat down Shiro with a headbutt and a spinning heel kick for a 2 count. He tries for another headbutt, but he's blocked and head smashed into the corner, leading to Genichiro tagging back in for more chops and an enziguri for a near fall. And the champs with a double clothesline before a single arm DDT from Koshinika gets a 2 count, and an elbow drop from the top from Tenryu for a near fall. Hirayoshi's clothesline down, hit with more chops and jabs from Genichiro, but he fights back with strikes of his own, making it to his corner for the tag, only for Shiro to jump in to attack Kojima as he enters, placing him on the turnbuckle and whipping his partner in for a running chop and a cutter. But Satoshi no-sells and delivers a Koji cutter to Tenryu. He also hits several running lariats and a powerbomb, followed by heading up top for an elbow drop that gets a 2 count. Koji then nails a clothesline that sends Genichiro to his corner, allowing Koshinika to tag in, only to be taken right down by a clothesline as well. Running forearm in the corner, top rope elbow drop for a near fall by Satoshi to keep up the attack, before holding Shiro as Tenzan flies in for double team Mongolian chops. Hiroyoshi with more clotheslines and a back body drop for a 2 count, when Tenryu comes in with a clothesline to Tenzan, but he ends up in the ropes, where Koji delivers another cutter that sends Genichiro crashing down to the floor. And Satoshi keeps up the attack on Tenryu with chops, only for Koshinika to leap off the apron with a hip attack to save his partner, followed by Hiroyoshi flying off the top with a moonsault atop everybody.
I just can't. I never thought I'd see a Tenzan moonsault to the floor. Just saying.
Tenzan then drags Shiro back in for Mongolian chops, running clothesline in a corner, and a calf branding for multiple lariats for a 2 count. Hiroyoshi goes to run the ropes again, but Genichiro gets a boot to the back, followed by Satoshi running in to deliver another Koji cutter to Tenryu. Koshinika with a hip attack to Satoshi to knock him down, and he goes for another to Tenzan, who catches and suplexes Shiro down to the mat. Kojima then comes off the top with the clothesline, before Hiroyoshi nails a top rope spinning heel kick to Koshinika. Satoshi then holds Genichiro down, while Tenzan flies off the top once more with a headbutt, for the pin and the win. And new! More declarations, trophies, and the belts presented to the new champions post-match, along with some interviews, of course. We then get a video recap of Muto's history. An interview in the back follows, where we see Keiji challenge his stablemate for the title.
Did you see that Sting was there in the back?
NWO fake Sting.
Yeah. It was just...
He's still a thing, guys.
Yeah, just like, I don't know. I feel like he's been so sidelined. It's at least nice to see him somewhere.
That leads us to our 10th match. Keiji Muto versus Scott Norton for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And we mentioned it on those WCW shows, but yes, Scott Norton is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
I will say this, like, Muto's got the big pyro, blah, 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 and Norton gets pyro as well, but he also gets a bigger pop than I expected. I just never quite knew how over, I guess, Norton was.
I mean, he was the top guy at this point.
Yeah.
So,
but that doesn't always mean that you get all the cheers.
No, it doesn't.
But, NWO, maybe because it's like, oh, this guy's in the NWO in America. Like, they're not watching that shit. They just know that NWO is big in America, and there's NWO
big here.
And it's big here. So that white guy must be a badass, and the NWO over there. Turns out, no one ever gave a half a shit about him in WCW.
So the last time we saw Muta was at the G1 Climax 98, episode 314. And we get a bit of a feeling out process to start.
You got to.
Taking the fight to the mat for different holds. But once back to their feet, Scott hits some chops, whipping Keiji to a corner and charging in. Only for Muta to avoid and hip toss his opponent, bouncing out. Before a flash elbow drop and back to the mat for more holds. Once they return to their feet, Norton nails a short arm clothesline. He goes for a lariat, but Keiji rolls under and delivers a drop kick and a drop toe hold to take his opponent down to the mat to work the arm. But Scott powers out into a suplex Muta, hitting forearms, chops, clotheslines to regain control, followed by a body slam, only to miss an elbow drop, leading to Keiji nailing a cartwheel back elbow and a bulldog. Classic.
Yeah, springboard back elbow. It was the craziest thing anybody ever saw in 1988 on American television for wrestling anyway.
Norton answers back with a power slam and a leaping shoulder block for a 2 count before delivering a shoulder breaker across his knee and comes up limping, followed by attempting a power bomb. But Muta reverses it into a hurricanrana. Keiji heads up top for a missile dropkick that sends Scott out to the apron, where he holds his knee, so Muta rolls out and dragon screw leg whips him down to the floor. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was great. You don't show your weakness, but obviously, pain is pain.
Back inside, Keiji works the leg with more dragon screws and applying figure fours, forcing Norton to crawl his way to the ropes to break the hold. Scott sidesteps a drop kick attempt and clotheslines Muta down, only to struggle to stay standing. So Keiji hits a drop kick
to the back of the knee.
But Norton fires back with another clothesline.
Run it back.
Muta continues with the drop kicks to the knee, dragon screw leg whips, another figure four with Scott making the ropes. Keiji just keeps attacking the leg when Norton catches him for a powerbomb, but he can't capitalize as he collapses due to the pain.
I mean, he really did drop kick the living shit out of his knee.
Muta's rolled to the apron, so Scott looks to bring him in the hard way. But Keiji floats over for drop kicks, dragon screws, figure fours, with Norton again making the ropes. Keiji heads up top for a springboard missile dropkick, some strikes, but then he runs into a power slam for a near fall. And Scott heads up top for a flying shoulder block, making the cover for the pin. And no, Muta kicks out. Norton with headbutts, and he goes for another powerbomb. But Keiji, with some rabbit punches, allows him to escape. Nails a dragon screw and a moonsault for the pin. And no! Scott kicks out. Muta then springboards off the ropes with a drop kick to the knee, locking in the figure 4 one more time for the submission and the win. And no! Post-match, Keiji receives a declaration, some trophies, and the title belt before taking pictures with the rest of the NWO Japan, including Norton.
He hugs Norton, his NWO brother, but he was like, "I got your number," but they didn't let it get in their way, at least not yet.
Muta then takes the mic to talk to the crowd, followed by having a stare down with Masahiro Chono, who was at the announce booth for this last match. Keiji's then interviewed in the back before we fade to black. So, I'll give you a little story here, because we won't see all this play out.
Yeah.
This was actually supposed to be Chono versus Muta for the belt. Norton actually won the belt because Chono got hurt.
Yeah.
Because Chono was the champion, got hurt, so they had a mini tournament. Norton won the belt. Okay. That Chono-Muta match that was supposed to happen was supposed to lead to an NWO Japan Civil War.
Yeah.
But Masahiro, like I said, injured, forced to vacate. That Civil War still happens after this match, as Keiji turns the group babyface, leading to Chono creating Team 2000 when he returns from injury. But Norton and some of the other more heelish members of NWO go and join Team 2000. So Team 2000 basically becomes NWO Japan.
Yeah.
But they don't have the name anymore because Muta is now.
Muta had a coup and went face, and then the OGs stayed heel and under a different name.
Yeah. So we'll see that play out whenever we cover some Japan stuff over the next year.
Yeah.
Might even see a conclusion of that story, January 4th.
Yeah.
Next year, that kind of thing.
It's a bummer that it wasn't Chono, but as far as the storytelling goes, they still got there.
Yeah. So I ask you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
What are your overall thoughts of Wrestling World 1999?
Junior tag and junior title were fucking awesome, and I love those matches dearly. The shoot UFO stuff was whack. The Onita angle was intriguing.
Okay.
It got it everybody knows on the next morning. It's probably some of the big news from this show, I'd imagine. Yeah. The heavy tag and heavy title were good, but just they didn't reach the heights of the junior matches. Granted, I also didn't have a lot of context for those, but 1/3 of it was a worthwhile show. And there's a real big dark cloud over this, but it's a dark cloud that everybody typically agrees with from this period of New Japan, and it involves this shoot business, and I can't believe they did that to Hashimoto. What a shame.
I literally said my words in a different order, but basically the same. I literally was like, the fake MMA matches stall the momentum that the show had.
Yeah. They're just not visually appealing, and they just come off as like...
Because I was having fun with the show. Like I enjoyed the Onita Sasaki because I understood exactly
what it was. Yeah. I didn't need to speak Japanese to understand the angle.
Yeah. We then get the two matches to end the show. While I do think they have good moments, the connective tissue
it's not there.
Isn't there to bring it all together. So I give this show, it basically is an average show. Like,
there's two amazing matches.
I would go watch the junior matches.
Yeah.
If you like, it is Tenzan and Kojima's first match together.
It's not terrible.
I mean, like I said,
it's good.
It's not a bad match. I don't. It's not going to knock your socks off. But if you want to go see Tenzan and Kojima's first match together, here it is.
They are not Steiners.
No.
And Otani.
I mean, it doesn't help that Koshinika is going to take all the bumps.
Yeah.
Tenryu took quite a few cutters, so I mean, I guess he did take some bumps.
Yeah,
but Tenryu's not Tenryu in this match. Tenryu is an older guy at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would be very interested to see a Tenkozy match in 6 months against the different tag.
I mean, considering this is early into their tag team partnership, by no means is it a terrible showing. Yeah. But when you walk away from this show, there's 2 matches that are going to come to mind first. And it's for good reason.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? There. All right, fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
The stupid smile on my face, as the junior tag match just builds and builds and builds, and it doesn't, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well,
when each team does the camel clutch with the basement dropkick thing,
it's
Otani doing it just to be a
dickhead,
to be Shinjiro Otani.
Yeah.
I was just like, yes, that's what I want right there. I mean, once again, Wagner Jr. impresses me completely.
Oh yeah.
I think we've always liked Kendo Kashin, but I think this was even a step up for him.
Yeah, he's a guy that's, he doesn't have as many of reps as the other guys, and here he's on potentially probably the biggest stage of his career at this point for sure. This is the show. This is WrestleMania, basically.
Not to talk about the juniors the entire time we're talking best moments, but
there's not much else there.
The first match, I thought Manabu and Fujita was for 2 guys that are basically just out of the dojo. I enjoyed this match.
It was a great curtain jerker. I was after that match was over, I was juiced up for the next one. It's like the perfect. It's a great salad.
Yeah.
A great dinner salad before, side salad before the steak comes out, kind of thing.
And I even and usually 6-man matches, I usually just kind of hand wave.
Yeah.
But the purpose of that 6-man match was to put the shine on Tadao Yoshida.
And
they did exactly what they set out to do, and it worked for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have a 6-man match on a show this big, there needs to be a goal outside of a 6-man tag or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone needs to walk out of this with some shine, and they achieved their goal.
They did achieve their goal, correct. We mentioned it on our best of show last week. Kanemoto, Liger, 2 of our favorite juniors in New Japan. And they're in a match together on this show.
And it doesn't suck at all. Not even a little bit.
It's fantastic.
And like I said, it's been building throughout this whole year, so they both have that dickhead energy that helped make the other junior match so engaging.
Yep.
And
double Mongolian chops. I mean, I love the Mongolian chop. It's the dumbest fun move out there.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little much, but I will say that they look better now better here than they do years later.
And then we got Koji cutters all over the place, which is always. I love Satoshi Kojima.
Yeah, his
moveset's just so cool.
And he's got the pecs to. He's basically a giant V of a man. He's the last guy I want to take a lariat from.
And I'm not giving him best wrestler of the night by any means, but Scott Norton did his job well. It
was better than I expected it to be. It did get very spammy, but I think
that's Muto's offense at this point.
Also, they're playing to the fact that Scott Norton can't do all of the stuff that he can do. So it's we're going to just want to work his knee over and over again, and Scott's going to be able to still pull off some power moves in between. It's going to take a lot to wear him down.
Yeah.
But with Chono, it might not have been all that different.
With what they were going, he didn't have to be carried to a good match.
No.
Because I don't think the match was bad at any means.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think any of the tag or any of the title matches
Any
on
of
this
the
show,
regular wrestling matches.
none of them were bad. The Black Cloud is just the UFO stuff. The rest of it's all good to perfect almost.
Yeah.
So just watch those junior matches. And like I said, junior championship match, I think you could show anybody that likes wrestling but hasn't watched any New Japan and be like, hey, this is how good this can be and why I like it. And I don't think you'd have to tell them anything because the story is unnecessary in their energy towards each other. You understand why they don't like each other without words. And then they go on to have a rip-roaring match.
How about most disappointing? That's
ruining
Hashimoto's
ruining Hashimoto's career. The other, I didn't like the other matches really either, but I don't care about any of those people. And in this one, the one of those 3 matches of the 6 guys, there's one guy I care about, and they gave him a concussion live on the biggest pay-per-view of the year and just crippled his paycheck. And it's so disrespectful and stupid and useless, and that match didn't sell any tickets.
No, at least not for this show.
No.
I mean, we just mentioned Muta spamming literally dragon screws, figure fours, and drop kicks. It was the story they were telling. I get it.
Scott Norton's big, but he's not Andre the Giant.
But it literally, the last 5 minutes of this match was 3 moves just over and over.
Run it back.
And over. And over, and over, and over.
Yeah, it got to the point where I was just writing. I was like, okay, just run the spot back. At some point, I just had that written 3 times. Run it back. Well, it
was just you didn't mess up the spot. You don't have to run it back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just trying to make Scott Norton look like he really needed to take a beating. They didn't want to bury him. He was doing him a favor. He knew he wasn't. He knew he only had that belt for a reason, and this was the reason. So,
how about best performer of the night? I mean, it's one of the juniors.
Yeah, for sure. But
which one?
It could be any of them, and I wouldn't necessarily be mad. I guess it would be
6-way tie.
I mean, yeah, it's like Kashin would probably be, and would he be the weakest link?
Actually,
would it be
Takaiwa. Takaiwa. That's the
I guess
weak link.
Yeah, but he's not bad.
No.
The match
he's
is
never
great.
been bad.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll just give it to Kanemoto because Liger always wins.
Works.
I mean, Liger doesn't always win. He has no problem laying down to somebody, but he's gotten plenty of our love.
Yeah, absolutely. And most surprising? Anything surprising on the show?
For me,
if Ogawa actually did shoot, because it's one of those was it a shoot?
Was it a kick or a punch? He kicked him in the head. You guys know how to throw a kick.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that the blurring of the lines thing, where it's for all we know, they're all right, don't go too hard or whatever. But Inoki could have been in his ear and been like, hey,
show him up.
Yeah, knock him out, shine him up.
Actually, the most surprising thing, is specifically about that match, is Shinya just kept going for takedowns, and I'm like, but you're a kicker. That's your strong suit. But I know it's a fake MMA match, so that's not probably the best way to attack. But
I think
Ogawa he was a trained MMA wrestler.
Yeah, I wonder if he was because MMA. That was what was interesting about it early on, as somebody who doesn't know a lot about it, is it would be a kickboxer versus a wrestler, or a kickboxer versus a Muay Thai guy or whatever. It'd be, people weren't training the way that they do now for MMA, where there's you need to know these things for this type of thing, where back then it wasn't like that. So I wonder what Ogawa's specialty was, what he was the most trained in. If it was wrestling, I imagine that Hashimoto may have just been afraid that he was going to pick his leg and then it would be over.
He was a world champion judo.
Okay. So that might be why he didn't want to throw the kick, because if he gets a hold of his leg, then it's basically over.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it.
But I don't know that walking in.
That's still Shinya's strong suit, so he'll just to continuously just go for takedowns, which is like you're not playing to your strengths, and
It doesn't make it. He walked out looking like
a zero.
Yeah.
When he walked in, a hero.
And that stinks.
Yeah.
Onita was a surprise. I didn't know that he ever really had this run with New Japan, so it was kind of fun to see a guy come out there and use furniture and blow the fireball.
If we see him again in New Japan. We will see him again someplace else.
Yeah.
But it might be a little while.
I mean, I've seen plenty of footage of him. I can't say that I've sat down and watched a lot of... I haven't gone out and watched specific matches, but if you've seen anything about hardcore wrestling or anything about Japanese wrestling, everyone's done an interview with this man. And once especially you see him later in life with his shirt off, he is a gravel road of scar tissue.
Yeah.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Turn the lights down, turn the projector on, because we're ready to rumble. So this segment, we're going to watch films from starting back in 1932. We're going to watch films that wrestlers have been in. They could be in the film for one scene. And guess what? Some of these films, that's exactly what happens. But we're going to give a little history on the movie, talk about the movie just a little bit. Basically a short little review about it. Not going to,
it's not going to be not a dissertation, just a...
There might be a spoiler or two because sometimes when you give a review...
It's from 1932. Exactly. You're not going to watch it.
But if something sounds interesting, I'll even tell you where you can go and find it.
And Matt, how did you find this? Because I know this was a problem.
So this first movie...
He's had this idea for a long time, had a big old list of movies, looking for the first one.
Madison Square Garden. It was released November 4th, 1932 by Paramount Pictures. It's directed by Harry Joe Brown and written by Thompson Burtis, Alan Rivkin, and P.J. Wolfson. Starring Jack Oakey, who's a one-time Oscar nominee, Thomas Megan, and Marion Nixon. The plot of this film is Eddie Burke is a wise guy pugilist whose talent is unevenly matched by his ego. Despite his character flaws, Eddie knows the meaning of loyalty. When his manager Doc Williams is offered the opportunity to stage a match at Madison Square Garden, but only if he gets rid of his stable of fighters. Eddie then fabricates an alibi and stages a walkout on Doc. Some trivia about this movie. We're going to do some trivia here.
Is it a union busting movie?
It feels like a little bit. Paramount sold over 700 productions to MCA Universal in 1958 for television distribution. But this film has not been shown since 1960. And so that kind of leads us into the story about this movie. So it has not quite fallen into public domain, even though it has not aired, because it has to go 50 years before it goes into public domain. So 2028, it might be out there. But because of that, there's a fun story here behind this. I'm researching ways to watch this film because for some reason I just had it in my mind. I was like, have to start with this movie, even though I literally could have. Listeners, you don't know what our order of these things are. I could have just skipped it and gone, whatever.
Yeah, just could have been like, oh well, I couldn't find this one.
But I was adamant.
He was very adamant.
And I found out that the UCLA Film Archives had a nitrate copy. And if you know anything about nitrates, they're very flammable. And therefore,
vinegar syndrome.
Not something that you can just borrow. Yeah. You literally have to go to the archives and
set up like a screen.
Set up a screening. They have to, and since it's on nitrate, the only copy they had was on nitrate. They actually have to transfer it from their catalog to digital so you can watch it. And they had not gotten to this film yet on their own accord.
It's probably not the highest on the list.
So it's sitting in a can somewhere in their archives. So I found that I could make a request to go and watch this movie in person. Emailed them, did this whole thing. I was actually headed out to LA at one point.
You were already going there.
I was going to Disneyland, so I was just like, what the heck?
Maybe this will be a fun experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got back to me that because of the backlog of requests, it wouldn't be done in time, the transfer. But they offered me another solution. They told me I could purchase a copy. And so I went down this path to see what that entailed. I would basically have to pay close to $3,000.
Yeah, don't do that.
And that was only if I could secure the copyright of the film from MCA Universal.
Your wife would have killed you.
As I mentioned, the film doesn't go into public domain until 2028. So, yeah, not paying $3,000 for this. I love you.
For a movie
listeners.
nobody cares about.
Exactly. So, took a step back from it, kind of let it simmer a little bit.
So after scouring the internet,
yeah,
some torrent sites,
I scoured everything that I could think of.
Everybody in this movie is dead.
I mean, I did find some non-reputable black market sites, but I'm not putting my credit card on one of those.
Didn't you buy a copy off eBay?
Found a VHS tape on Amazon.
Oh.
And like I said, non-reputable DVD black sites, not putting my credit card. Amazon, I knew that if something happened, I was
pretty safe.
Covered.
Yeah. I
could request a refund if something happened, blah, blah, blah. Did not realize when I bought this tape that it was from England.
Oh, it was PAL, not NST or NTSC or whatever it is.
Yes. I didn't realize that. I knew DVDs had regions.
Yeah.
No clue that VHS tapes had a region system.
Yeah.
Okay. So I realized this after I'd already ordered it. It had already been shipped. And I was just like, oh crap.
Was the box cool?
Now I'm going to have to figure some way. But it never shows up.
Oh.
It gets lost in transit somehow. So once again, I get my money back because I can get the refund because I went through Amazon. See how smart I was on that one?
Mm-hmm.
I then was doing a cursory look on YouTube, and I just was like, I'm going to write, because I don't know if you guys know this, tons of films on YouTube that are in public domain. Just letting you know this.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, like, I can't find this thing, and I was like, and then I even did a internet search for a while, and and was like, oh yeah, if Matt's headstrong on this one, I did what I could, but I was like, it's probably on the Internet Archive. No.
And I found someone had posted a clip of the film on YouTube. And in the description of the film, it had an email address attached to it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, if you have a clip,
where did you clip it from?
Where did you clip it from? Exactly. So I emailed this gentleman. His name was Robert. I'll give him a shout out. I've done business with him multiple times. So you can tell where this story is going. Asked him if he had the full film. Said he did. And so for a reasonable price, I mean, it wasn't it wasn't super expensive.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Super expensive. Would have just still said no. It was a reasonable price. He sent me a digital download of this film. I took him up on the offer. So we were able to watch this film.
This is the course of, what, 3 to 4 months?
I started looking probably November of
2024?
24, yes.
Or 23 maybe?
No, yeah, you're right. It would have been November of 23.
I only remember that because the first time we talked about it, I was in a house that I don't live in anymore.
And I didn't find it until almost July or August of 24. So it was It was literally a good 10 months of searching for this.
When you finally found it, it was, I mean, this was a off-mic conversation plenty of times.
Yeah. But after all that fun story, let me give you a little review.
Let me see if it was worth it, brother.
So, just so you know what the public thinks of this movie, IMDb gives it a 7.0.
How many people have seen it?
I don't know on IMDb.
Yeah.
Letterboxd was at 2.7. That's on 12 ratings.
Oh.
So 12 people had given this movie a rating.
12 people also gave Robert...
Plus this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the 12 people.
Nice. And Robert, I wonder if Robert's one of the guys.
But I found a review from 1932 in the New York Times. Mordaunt Hall. We'll hear that name quite a few times over the course of this next year, because if I could find the New York Times review of something, they were one of the top reviewers back in those days. He said, "This is one of the top-notch prize-fighting films. For although the story is the same old formula, with the good, very stupid, and the bad, very quite clever, for most of the time, it rubs elbows with real life. The success of this offering is partly due to the occasional flashes of old-timers, and it is a good picture." I mean, it's not obviously the full review. I'm taking quotes from it. Just so you know what the public in 1932 thought of this movie. But me, myself, here's my review.
All right.
I feel like this film gives a pretty accurate look at the behind the scenes of the 30s wrestling/boxing scenes. I also love the old school guys such as Jack Johnson, Sailor Sharkey, and Tommy Ryan that keep showing up in support as they love the sports. There's a love story that is a total B-plot and just gives something to do while the fighting isn't happening. And the final boxing match was an incredible feat of editing to build tension by the director.
It's no, like, Raging Bull.
No.
I mean, as far as, like, the way, I mean, that scene is insane looking. They don't have that kind of technology. So the fight scenes was actually good for 32, you think?
I think so.
Yeah. It was engaging.
So the wrestler of the film is Stanislaus Zbyszko. That name might sound familiar, as he's a 3-time world heavyweight champion, all the way back in the early 1920s.
Related to Larry, or is it just the name that Larry took?
I think it's just the name that Larry took.
Okay.
But he was inducted into the International Professional and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fames. And he just plays himself as one of the old school gentlemen who is always hanging around the garden, even having a line in Meeting the Manager of our main character. I gave this movie a 3.5.
Hey! A lot of that, was that 0.5 for the finally just having it? Just like...
But maybe a little bit.
I can't hate this. I'm not allowed to hate this. I spent 10 months for it.
I actually enjoyed, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, it's a 1930s film.
Yeah, it's also probably pretty short for, I imagine, in 1930s.
Sure is less than 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these films are like literally 67 minutes long.
Yeah.
But the rest of the performance, because I'm going to rate that as well. Sometimes, if a wrestler literally just shows up and does absolutely nothing, I'm not going to one.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything to hurt or harm this film, so he gets a 3.
All right, right down the middle. I get 3 out of 5. Is what you're giving, right? Or is it out of 10?
It's out of 5. Everything's out of 5.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a letterbox guy, so everything's out of 5.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's Ready to Rumble. Each week, we'll bring in one movie. It'll be a much shorter segment from now on because I won't have a fun story. I promise I won't have a fun story every time. Because every other movie has been much easier to find.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that you found it.
I remember the day that I got it. I literally texted you guys. I found it.
I was like, yeah, you earned it. I wonder. Yeah,
it was my holy grail.
I wonder what Robert's collection is like. I imagine it's insane.
Like I said, I've gotten a couple other films from him over the course of the last few years.
Yeah.
Next week, WCW Monday Night Nitro from January 4th, 1999.
Same day.
That's right. Music from this week's show is The Score by Emerson, Lake and Powell. And Keiji Muto won our main event, so we play NWO Triumph by Andre Anderson. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. Do it for Matt. Spend 10 months looking for a movie nobody cares about.
Yeah, if you really want to watch this, just go out there to the YouTube clip and find Robert's email. He would love the business if you're looking for just weird
old movies.
Is
he mostly dealing like stuff from like early Hollywood?
Rare stuff, yeah.
Huh.
It's really cool looking through some of this stuff, yeah. And you can send us any questions, comments, concerns. We're going to Atlanta for that Nitro. So if Shane's here next week, hopefully, help him out, because we've been to Atlanta here quite often recently, so he could possibly use a little help.
We weren't there in 1995, as I won points for that trivia question a couple weeks ago.
We'll get a little dirty. 1999, I think isn't that the Dirty Birds from the Falcons Super Bowl team? I don't know. I don't think
you might be right.
You know what I'm talking about. But you can send those things to WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTO X. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.